Hey everybody, Dennis Wilborn. Thanks for joining us back for the next session of Avoiding These 6 Habits of Losing Traders. My objective is to clarify, simplify the trading process so traders can multiply profits and minimize risk. So let's get today's session right now. Number 2, no pre-trade routine. 1, we want to define an end game. And what do I mean by that? I want to, basically my end game is when I'm sitting out doing my analysis, when the market's closed, I want to make trade decisions. I want to properly size my orders. Those are all part of my predefined end game. If we fail to make our trading decisions, if we fail to analyze and do a properly sized order where the order is ready, okay, we don't get the order in place. And then we wind up, let's say your analysis of what the stock was going to do was spot on. And it did exactly what your analysis said it was going to do. However, because we didn't define our end game, we did not take these steps to have them in place, we were left behind and, potentially kicking ourselves in the rear saying, dadgummit, I did it to myself again. I missed the big move. And it all stems from just failing to find the end game. And the end game isn't to make money in this particular case. The end game is part of the routine. What routine do I have to finish? What needs to be my final product output in order to participate in the market moves? Yep. Yeah. Mark, and I can speak directly to that. I get tired, and so I put a lot of time in analysis, and that's why as time goes on, I continue to cut down on the number of stocks and ETFs I watch, because, and I know that, hey, I don't need to trade more than 4 to 5 positions on a weekly basis, and I kind of want those to be longer term, and so then I break the end game down into smaller, digestible pieces. Warren, are you just being quiet or are you just taking everything in? So, consistency starts with consistent time management. Consistent time management. And again, it gets back to when during the day are you going to do these setups? I find for myself personally, if I will take, let's say the market closes and if I can get it where I can, within the first 3 hours after the market closes, I can take care of this, then it helps, that's a good thing. And it helps me meet my end game of my routine. I want to be patient with reversals. What does that mean? I want for the reversal to actually start. I didn't know I had it. No, I do know I have an impatient streak in me. And so what'll happen? How do you know if you're impatient or not? Impatient when it comes to trading. Well, 1, if you're jumping into trades early, or you're looking at an indicator. Let's say you look at TSI and go, well, it's just about ready to turn back up to the upside, and it hasn't turned yet. You're over-anticipating the move. Over-anticipating the move kills the potential of profits. And remember, it is a process. The pre-trade routine is a process. So trade habits number 4. 1, stop trying to pick tops and bottoms. Wait for the price action to prove itself. Because, again, the middle of the trend is where money is made. So does anybody have an issue with trying to pick tops and bottoms? Oh, yeah, Mark, what I was talking about is that on my I know I want to do my review and my analysis when the market is closed. Okay, if I go ahead and do my daily routine and get all the way to the end of the day, you know how it is here in Hawaii. I mean, heavens, to get a proper amount of sleep, you know, if I'm going to get up with the market at 2:30 in the morning, well, I need to be in bed by about 8. Well, if I wait to do my analysis until it's 7:30, I'm stinking tired. And so I find that I do it better if I can finish my analysis and get my orders ready within the first 3 hours after the market's closed. So that's what I was talking about. So middle of the trend is where the money is made. Number 5, poor thinking. Yep, there you go. Yeah, so part of the thing, Rocco, about finishing the process is it doesn't take me long to do the stock reviews and all that kind of stuff, but I found that I actually need to get my spreadsheet out. That it has my little order table. In my little order, the little thing that I use to build the orders in, so I can go start filling that out immediately. I define my places. I get my little paper tab out. I define my price levels, and then I build it. If I can get to the point where I am actually entering, I think you know what I'm talking about. But if I can get to the point where I'm actually entering where I'm actually entering the order table. If I can actually get to the place where I'm actually filling out the entry calcs, whether it be for a stock or an option, and I'm filling that out, then going from that step to the next step of actually putting the order in, I can basically get it done. And so this is I have to understand, this is my trigger. And I don't mean trigger in a bad way, I mean trigger in a good way. This is what basically gets me to take the next step, which is to actually get the order out and also send out to all the members to say, hey, here's what I'm working on. Yep. And so, yeah, Mark, so cool. Okay, so poor thinking. Mark talked about stinking thinking. Yeah, it is stinking thinking. We have to be listening to what we tell ourselves. So listen to your self-talk. I know that, and part of it is the way we just grow up. I mean, we can be, some of the things that maybe names you've been calling yourself forever, that needs to change. Like, I know I will get into not a funk, it's not a funk really, but I'll ask myself, what are you thinking? Or I may go, Dennis, you dummy. Or sometimes I even find myself talking to myself the same way that, like one of my mom or my dad, my mom especially, she'd go, Dennis Wayne Wilborn. So when you call yourself, when you hear yourself starting to call yourself 3 different names, be careful. But there's other things, like if you're calling yourself, oh, you dummy, what are you thinking? That type of stuff. That is not providing you the proper kind of talk to yourself to make you successful. Start journaling your psychological capital balance. What the heck does that mean? Well, we have to understand that when we start every day, we have basically spiritual capital balance, a physical, we're hopefully re-energized, we're ready for the day, and then a psychological. There's withdrawals made from that throughout the day. So if you've had a specifically tough day, either at work, your interaction with a spouse, with a relative, with a friend, that has been draining on you psychologically, you feel flat. you feel drained. I mean, I know you guys have had that feeling of, man, I'm just drained today. And the psychological aspect and psychological capital drains you both psychologically and physically from what I can tell. And you need somewhere to say, hey, stop, time out, replenish, and then, maybe it's taking a couple of quick breaths, maybe it's basically some deep, some kind of deep breathing exercise, maybe it's going for a walk around the block, anything to get yourself up and going. When you find yourself, as Rocco says, getting sloppy in what you're doing, well, that's where we need to say, time out, what's going on here? Is there something at work that is not per se obvious? Have you ever gone home and gotten into an argument with your significant other, with your wife, if you will, or well, I know there's going to be some ladies listening to this video later, you'll get into an argument with your husband or boyfriend or whatever, and you stop and you go, why did I do that? I'm really not upset or mad with that person. But there was a transference from the junk that was going on at work. You were tired or maybe anxious about something there, and you brought it home and just dumped it right in their lap because, hey, they were an easy target to basically dump on. Well, that's where we need to be, though all those things are connected into how we think, how we handle things, how we basically, but if you ever catch yourself doing that and ask yourself why, well, one, tell her you're sorry, ask her to forgive you, and then figure out, okay, what did I just do? Why did I do that way? So ask yourself the question, are you really ready to place that trade? And if the answer comes back, no, I'm not, then don't force it. I'm almost convinced, I am convinced in a lot of ways, that a lot of times we can fat finger some of our trades because we're not ready to place the trade. In other words, we've let something slip in our process, in our preparation or whatever, and as we try to, God's protecting us. As we're trying to place the trade, we're basically fat fingering it because it's never intended to be placed. Because I know I've had many trades like that throughout my career, and when I got done placing it, and I went back, dadgummit, this trade is going to get in, and I start forcing it, tends to never work out well. That's actually pretty good. Okay, what's next? You have to ask yourself, you look yourself in the mirror, and you have to ask yourself, what? Am I up for the challenge and opportunity of me? Because that's what it comes back to. It's that guy and gal you look at in the mirror every day. And so like that, so many things in life that are that way. It's what decisions you're going to make, how you're going to handle yourself moving forward. And it's especially true when you throw in the aspect of money and trading. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that session on our latest training, and if you want to get more information about active trend trading, you'll find links down in the descriptions on this video, and please go back and review these. I put these out based on my 30 years experience in trading stocks and options, and so again, if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Be watching for the next installment of Avoiding the 6 Habits of Losing Traders. Aloha. God bless.